I've been getting a ton of comments on previous videos, people asking me, what part is that? Where did this heat come from? How much did it cost? And so I thought I'd put together a short and simple video explaining exactly that. For example, these highway pegs, how did I mount them to the bike and where do you get them from? Quick disclaimer, I've listed all the parts in the description below, but if the links don't work anymore, it may be because they've discontinued it or they've sold out. So if that happens, I can't help you, you're gonna have to use your imagination. Plus, at the end of the video, I'm gonna transform this street hooligan into a touring legend. I'm gonna replace some of the parts on this bike and show you just how versatile it is. Starting with the front and working our way to the back, the windshield. This is the sport screen and it retails online via Harley-Davidson's website for £171. Or you could just do what I did and go on AliExpress and bought it for £19.09. Unbelievable saving. If you're wondering if the quality's worse, no, it's exactly the same screen. Number 2 is the GPS bracket by Touratech. It costs 80 quid, not cheap, but allows you to keep all your devices in front of you, mount your GPS, your phone, your Garmin, whatever. It's a really good piece of kit. Number 3 is the quad lock phone mount. Love this thing, super customizable. Make sure to get an anti-vibration dampener. If you don't get one of those, your magnets in the camera will move around and subsequently break the camera. I don't use a wireless charger because then the whole unit comes out to about here, which is a bit too much. So I just use a little cable, plug that into my phone, Bob's your uncle. This costs around 20 to 50 pounds, depending on how much customization you want to do. Number 4 is the Puig V3 Shorties. These are amazing levers, really snappy, really well made, super customizable. You can make the length further or you can shorten it if you've got small hands like me. You can customize the colors. I've gone for black with a silver dial to adjust the sizing. Really good, £120 for the pair, including the adapters. Number 5 is the custom handlebars. Custom because you will need to make custom shims. Now I'll come on to that in a minute. These bars are X02 by LSL. They are a street bar. What does a street bar mean? Well, it just means it's a more aggressive fit. So if I get the original handlebars, you will see that they're shorter in length and they also cut in slightly for the more aggressive look. So they're coming in that way, whereas the stock handlebars are coming up. What this does, it basically means that your riding position is slightly more aggressive, slightly leaning forward. And for the faster riders and people that want to rip this bike and go around corners fast, this would be a good option. And that's the type of riding that I do. However, touring, this is a better bar because it's just far more comfortable. Now, let's talk about shims. You will need to create custom shims. And what shims do essentially means that you can now fit any bar to your clamp, providing that the bar is a smaller diameter than the clamp. So for this bar, you will need to create 0.3mm shims. Whilst we're here, let's discuss number 6, the bar end mirrors by HJR. They retail for £48, cheap and cheerful. Mount them on top or mount them below. I like them below because my field of view is better, but just know that if you do come off the bike, it's highly likely that the bar end mirrors are going to go straight into the plastic tank, which you could replace, but it's still not ideal. Number 7 is the turn signals by Killer Customs. These are £250 a pair, so £500 for the entire bike. That is an extortionate amount of money for turn signals. If I was to do this again, I would scrap these and just get some cheapo LEDs, mount them on the bars or mount them slightly below, or maybe here have a little bracket coming out. I just wouldn't spend £500. Although Killer Customs, you do get what you pay for. Very good quality, very good brand, highly recommended, but you don't need to go and spend £500. Number 8 is the single greatest upgrade to this Pan America and potentially yours, highway pegs. I simply put my feet forward. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you're going on long distance ride, you now have the option to put your feet forward, lowering fatigue and just being so much more chill. I can now sit back, put on cruise control and listen to my tunes. All you have to do is cut a section here off your skid plate, a section there, smooth out the edges, bang in the highway pegs, screw them on, Job done. Now for the best part, the cost. £12. £12 for some highway pegs. That is the steal of the century. And best yet, Amazon, 1-day delivery. Quick disclaimer, these pegs are advertised on Amazon as engine crash protection bars. They cost £12. Are they really gonna protect your bike? I don't think so. Number 9 is the foot pegs and the controls by SW Mototech, a brand I'm all sure you all know for good reason. Very good quality, customizable, and they look great. Not cheap. £250 for the controls, £134 for the pegs. However, the pegs are definitely worth it because they're very customizable. You can go higher, you can go lower, tilt forward, tilt back. So now you can get the pan to fit you rather than you having to fit the pan. Number 10 is the exhaust system, and you'll notice I'm not giving them any airtime. And it's a real shame because this is such a fantastic exhaust. I spent £1,500 on the headers and the can, only to be left in the dark for over a month. And the customer service was appalling. For that reason, I'm not going to recommend this company. So as an alternative, I would recommend Tyres, which is an American company, very, very good track record of building race exhaust systems, very good quality, and I would buy that for my next pan if I was to buy one. Number 11 is the Tail Tidy by R&G. It's a little bit on the expensive side at £105, and it was the only option that I could find for the Pan America. But look at the results. It looks so much tidier, a lot shorter, means that you can get rid of all this unnecessary bulk from the back. I fabricated the rear, so the rear came out to about here. And if you want to see how I did that, I've got videos on my channel explaining exactly that. Number 12 is the seat by Saddleman. This is the tuck and roll model, and it retails for £476. That is a lot of money. If you're looking for comfort, this isn't it. It's a very firm seat. I've put 10,000 miles on this seat and it still feels like new, and I wouldn't expect any less because it's by Saddleman, which is a very good brand. This seat will last a lifetime. So who's it for? Well, I would argue that if you like going fast and if you just want a seat which makes the bike look really cool, this is probably the one to go for. For the reason being that you've got this lumbar support here, which when you're really pulling on the throttle, you move to the back and you can't go any further. So you feel like you're sitting in the bike, you feel like you're part of the bike rather than sitting on the bike. So it's a very unique feeling that's really, really good. I love it. If you're going around those corners, you feel cemented into the bike. If you want to pull a couple of wheelies, exactly the same thing. You feel like you're not going to fall off the back. But if you're going on long distance tours, the stock seats, funnily enough, are really good. I would actually get the Sundowner seat. That's fantastic. Whilst we're on the topic of touring, I'm now going to demonstrate how I turned this street hooligan into a touring legend. Classic sun starts coming out just as I'm finishing the video. That looks epic, and I think some people might think that the stock seat looks better than the Saddleman. I prefer the Saddleman, but for touring, this is so much more comfortable, and you can literally throw your bags over the top, strap them to the pillion pegs, and off you go. It's so quick. I just love how versatile this bike really is. I've created a street hooligan demon Pan America, but under 5 minutes I can turn it into a gentle touring legend. It really is one of the best adventure bikes out there. As I said before, the links are in the description below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, or even better, subscribe to the channel, and as always, ride safe, and I'll see you in the next one.